Hello everyone, this is the final preview for Dragon May Cry 2 before the book drops tomorrow. This is my 5th time recording this video, well 6th time really. Just want to say I'm glad that we're on book 2, and no matter what happens with Devil May Cry Season 2, if you absolutely fucking hate it, or you love it, if it's the worst writing you have ever seen, or if it's not, just try to enjoy my book as a totally separate thing, okay? I am mostly running on the high of the trailer of the first season, because that's what inspired this whole story, okay? And I know people are very conflicted on watching Season 2. Several YouTubers I know have already dropped videos on how the writer's going to ruin every single thing about it. Found this one funny video that actually did a review on Arius from Devil May Cry 2. And at first I thought they were going to try and defend Arius in Devil May Cry 2. But by the end of the video I realized, nope. They realized the same thing I did. Like, no matter what the anime does, Arius is coming out of this better, okay? Because, I'm sorry, folks, he was complete dog shit in the games. He always was. Okay? Anything the series does of him will be better than what the games did of him. Though I do find it a bit sad we won't be getting Lucia in this. I think we'll be getting her clones because I saw a buffer version of her in there. It's like, yeah, it's got to be one of her clones. Which I'm fine with. Okay, sure, why not? Who knows, she might show up at the end of freaking Devil May Cry storyline and just kill Arius, just one-shot him, just like, yeah, fuck you, Arius. Does that kind of ruin my ideas for Dragon May Cry 2? Since I assumed Lucina would be playing a role? Bloody hell. Maybe, maybe not. Tempest was essentially going to be playing the role of Lucina. Lucia. I knew I was saying it wrong. Why was I saying Lucina? I'm sorry, folks, because I was playing Fire Emblem earlier. That's why. That's why Lucina was on my name instead of Lucia. Nice. Anyway. Sorry, folks, if I just ruined your whole systems. Like, yeah, Lucia, Lucina, they're similar names. Anyway. Just want to get to myself. I was coughing a lot during the third attempt. And I'm still not feeling great. But we're going to use today's video to talk about... Well, the new cover isn't done yet. They're almost finished. They said they'd be dropping it sometime today. And heck, for all I know, they could have dropped it while I was talking. Hold on. No, it's just a message from one of my friends on DMs. Discord. No, that's just another message from a friend. Did you seriously just drop that message now? It's like, yo, do you want to talk? It's like, I'm in the middle of a video right now, dude. I'll talk to you when I'm done, okay? Maybe. Been very busy, okay? He probably just wants to talk about Devil May Cry 2 because he is a big fan of the games and really doesn't have an outright burning hatred of the Netflix series, like unlike a lot of other people I know. Anyway, we're going to use this video to talk about the preview that I dropped below along with the map I dropped below, okay? The preview is finally we're getting details on where the fuck was Shining Armor during book 1. Well, actually, we don't know what he was doing during book 1. I kind of wrote myself into a corner right there, so I'm just going to ignore anything he might have done in book 1 and just talk about what he's going to be doing in book 2, okay? He is protecting the Crystal Empire, obviously. But once you see the map, you'll see why that's a bit of a major key point in this storyline compared to other storylines. But before we get to that, well, no, not this one. This one. Damn thing. There you go. Just want to look over the original cover itself. We got Twilight on top. Yes, that's the... What? Sorry. Didn't mean to spoil that for you guys. You guys already know that Tempest is in the story somewhere, okay? I might have mentioned it a few times. But I'm going to go and spoil for you folks what's going to be on the cover by using the original cover as an example. Now, the original cover, we've got Twilight in the top corner. We've got, left corner, top left. We've got Gabby in the top right. We've got Smolder and Spike in the center. We got Blue Blood as our pony representative. And we've got Ember as our dragon representative. Awesome. And our newest cover, which will be coming out tomorrow, sometime today, hopefully. And you guys will see it in its ultimate perfection when the story drops tomorrow. In the new version, we have our mysterious Bulla, bare-hooded figure. Don't know why I said bull-hooded figure. Like, bare-hooded figure. You know who they are if you've read the epilogues. They'll be over here and be in the Twilight insert. Well, they'll be playing a similar role Twilight did, okay? But it'll be way more aggressive. Then over here will be the new love interest for Spike. Over on the top right. Then at the center, we're going to have two rival positions. Well, not really rival positions. Our two main characters. There's not going to be any love interest between Spike or Tempest. I'm sorry. That's not a ship I care for at all, really. I've got a totally different angle planned. You guys will love what I'm doing. And you'll probably even get a massive fucking hint once you see the pose they're doing. I'm very blunt on the pose. And as I said, she's going to be playing a sort of a Lucia role in this game. Kind of. Where she's eternally loyal to the main bad guy, that being Storm King. But no, she wanted to kill Arya. Like, you can tell how much the storyline of Devil May Cry 2, the game, just didn't fucking matter if I'm totally forgetting the absolute loyalties of certain characters, okay? Arya is like a father to her, but she wants to murder him because he cloned her, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going the cloning angle with Storm King, but it's very much a sort of mix of Arya from the games and Storm King from the movie, but I'm also tossing in a bit of extra storyline beats that I wish they ever did with Storm King. My problem with Storm King in the movie is that he is very bluntly a very simple villain, okay? And I'm not going to go into some intricate, dark, super sad backstory for my version of Storm King, but rather, I'm going to be using Storm King to break down a lot of the intricate problems that already exist in My Little Pony's political structure, on how dragons are featured and such, and how ponies see themselves as the center of attention, blah, blah, blah. You'll understand what I'm going for, you'll love it. As for the pony representation, it's Zecora. You guys know this. You guys read the other preview, okay? She'll be down here in the bottom left. Whether or not she'll be an ally or foe, you have to read and find out. Then for the dragon representation, it's obviously going to be Sludge. Okay? There's not too many other things I could go for that. I was considering at one moment doing Stolas, but I was worried the artist would think I I was worried the artist would think I'm talking about the has-been hell of a boss character and not my Dragon OC from this series. Like, Sludge doesn't have too much human art, so why not? As I told you before, this artist doesn't do anthro, doesn't do furry, doesn't do pony, but they do incredible human shapes. And really, it just works. Love the designs of some of his things. I've already seen the colored version, just not the final version. And it looks great. It looks perfect. As for the other thing I dropped today in the blog, we have a map. Now, the idea behind this map is basically showing off Equestria in full, plus the bottom half of that landmass. Now, I did notice when I was searching up a map, there is a larger, much larger version, and I'm not sure if that's a fan art piece or if that's an actual canon map. Because there are some things I absolutely love in that map, and there are other things like, yeah, that doesn't work. Like having the lindworms all the way in the distance on the far end of the map, nowhere near the dragons, is rather stupid. I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult the artist. I'm certain their idea is underground logic, considering they're both tunnels. That makes sense. But that's not going to work for me, okay? Especially since I'm so limited on landmass. So, as you guys saw at the top and bottom, we have Nidhogg's forces in purple, Stolas' forces in pink, Amber's forces in yellow. Come on, move down, move down, move down, move down, move. Hidden Dragon tribes in blue, Blue Blood's forces in gray, and remaining Equestrian forts in red. Now, why is this important? Well, you noticed the Crystal Empire, Canterlot, bit of Niagara Falls, half of Cloudsdale. That's very important. That Cloudsdale has been split in half. And none of Ponyville has been pretty much... Yeah, this is everything under Twilight's control. Okay? She lost a lot of land in the year between Dragon May Cry 1 and 2. Because, yeah, Spike was knocked out cold at the end of Dragon May Cry 1. And the dragons said they would be declaring war 6 months later. Well, I'm skipping ahead to a full year, a full 6 months into the war itself. And Twilight has lost a lot of land, especially since she's no longer fighting them directly with the same ferocity and genocidal nature that she originally had. The way I see it is basically, what if after Ireland got invaded so many times by England, they decide to fight back, and then England decide to cower in the corner while we take so much of their land back in absolute fucking victory? No, too close to home? Yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I had to say that. I am Irish, dang it. This feels kind of cathartic for, like, the small chunk of Dragonland to be coming over and pushing back on so much of the Ponyland. But of course, you notice some lines are crossing over. As I said, the blue is Nidhogg's, and he has a lot of the land, okay? Land he doesn't have is claimed by Stolas, his son. You know, some in-between lands right here. Ponyville's been utterly abandoned. There's some mild openings over here. There's a Blue Blood section over here. I can't remember the point of this story here. It might be when I go into later detail. Blue Blood's major force is right over here, though, okay? This mountain area. notice there's a major crossroads of multiple forces over here in Bloody in the rock farm. Why is that important? Well, remember that Twilight and Pinkie Pie had a bit of a relationship going on. Yeah, that's going to be important, folks. I think it's like Act 6 and 7, or 7 and 8, something like that. There'll be a major fight between characters in that area, okay? Hair. My hair is itching today. Oh, that hurts. Anyway, be a lot of major fighting over there. Outside of that, a friend of mine told me they felt a need to. I mean, they felt lost, okay? So I'm like, I'll draw up this map to help everyone understand what's going on, even if I don't outright tell them where each of the dragon tribes are. Well, I'm not telling you their names, but I'll tell you there's a dragon tribe here, there's a dragon tribe under Las Pegasus, there's a dragon tribe of these mountains. You already know what's going on there. Like, I realized that I mixed up the names of the Yogg and the Trenzel worm. I'm like, wait a minute, the Trenzel worm is already a worm shape, not just simply because worm is an old dragon name, but literally because these are actual worms with 2 arms. So yeah, I kind of have to make the eels the Trenzel worms, even though I originally wanted to say the Trenzel worms for last. But yeah, they'll be. I'm gonna go and spoil. They're all in the mountains because you guys seen the battle that Mud had with that giant eel. The giant eel is gonna be our Trenzel worm. Okay, it was gonna be Yogg, but then I realized like, no, that doesn't work. Oh, blazes fucking hell, that doesn't work. My fault for forgetting names. Then we have a sand area. The entirety of the sand area is belonging to a single dragon tribe. Then we have this clouded area, which will also belong to a single dragon tribe. It's hilarious that the movies give us so much giant chunks of land that they didn't do anything with, okay? Like, I remember at most, the movie involved this skull-looking island, maybe. And then we jumped straight into fighting the Storm King's lair. Which I don't think I even saw fully, just, like, implied implications on where it was. Also, I don't think we ever got the answer what the hell Nightmare Cliffs is. Is it a place where Nightmare Moon used to rule? Maybe it was answered in the comics. I didn't read all the comics. But yeah. As you can see, Stolas is very much conquering in a very zigzaggy motion. His main base is our town, okay? Starlight's town. That makes sense. So he started from there and just skirted around the sides, easily conquering Yak-Yakistan, duh. Then cut it through here, cut it through there, cut it through there, cut it through there. Got lost at one moment, hence the zigzaggy line. You remember he's a bit of a stoner before stopping at Nightmare Cliffs. Then at the top corner, Amber will be involved in the story, but very minorly, because she is purely there to fight Shining Armor's forces, okay? She has the the Yeet ranges. Yakits ranges, whatever that's called. And, of course, that waterfall place. She's kept a good chunk of northern land, okay? And she's fighting Shining Force's army and trying to get into the Crystal Empire. She's mostly just following orders, okay? Because she's nowhere near strong enough to take down... fight Nidhogg. Okay, there is no way she's winning a fight with Nidhogg. Whereas Twilight during this whole thing, well, if you remember in the previews, she's in Canterlot. She has not returned to Ponyville since it was burned down. However, that is where Spike is waking up, folks. So he's going to be mostly in the clear for like a good chunk. I think he's waking up somewhere over here. I'm not sure if you guys can see where my mouse is. And he's going to be spending a good chunk of Act 1 making his way to the Crystal Castle. And he's also going to... let's see. I cannot read that from here. If the ridge... Oh, yeah, I know it. But the caves where Rarity would dig for her stuff. And, oh, blazes. TV just turned on. Sorry, folks. Okay. The caves where Rarity would dig for her gems and where the Diamond Dogs live, that is where I think Act 1's going to end, roughly, before we go back to the Crystal Castle itself for the end of Act 2. Ugh. I could be having it backwards, because when I was writing the story, the map was very different in my mind. I had Ponyville actually flipped around in my mind, with the castle being closer to Canterlot, not further away. I don't know why I was thinking it was closer. It makes sense. It's further away. I wonder who's running the castle now. Freaking. At the end of season 9, when Twilight moves out, I wonder who's running the castle after that. Because I know Starlight was supposed to be running the school. And that's another note to bring up. The timeline of where this takes place within the show itself is Dragon May Cry, the sparking events of the Ebony Dragon happened just after Twilight was about to open up the school. Okay? Because the school itself is there mentioned in background details of Dragon May Cry 1. And we'll be seeing some of it during Dragon May Cry 2's opening acts. But we won't be going inside because, well, obviously the continuity problems. Like, Smolder first meets Spike during Dragon May Cry 1. Why would she also be going to the school? That makes no goddamn sense at all. It's kind of hilarious that in both of my universes, the school is there, getting built, but never gets finished. Like in SWWC, I can't have the students suddenly appear as part of the storyline because Questia has been isolated. It's been cut off from the rest of the world by King Cray, okay? And in here, there's another isolation, but it's more to the fact that Twilight is fighting the dragons. So characters like Gallus and Silverstream might exist in my universe, but they aren't being used, okay? For instance, you notice there's no mention of where they are in the barrier, okay? Silverstream could still be down here for all we know, or she might have found a way to Gallus during the war. Because some of Griffenstone has been hit, but not all of it, okay? What else happened? What's the other students? Oh yeah, Yak Yakistan. Yona. I'm not sure what Yona's doing during Dragon May Cry. I've got some major ideas for her during SWWC's universe. Once you see more of Big Mac's story, because he's going to Yak Yakistan. As for Sandbart, oh yeah, he's a pony. He's probably dead, I don't know. Who knows, I might use him later. I'm not really up to using every one of the students in this story. I mean, I have a plan for Ocellus. I do, but that's mostly because I love Ocellus and Smolder as a couple. Always have. They are my top tier in the students. But I really can't say too much on what my plans are with her without spoiling major details in Book 3. Who knows? That might already be saying too much. It is if you've already guessed on what I'm doing with certain blah 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 blah. Trying to censor myself. But yeah. Manhattan, Philadelphia, Baltimore, all of it's been claimed. Okay? The jungle, everything. Just a lot of fun with that storyline. And I'm just suddenly being drained. I'm going to go and stop the video, folks. I'm not sure if I can cover anything more. I hope this does better than the previous video because that one was absolute fucking dog shit where I just spent over an hour of arguing with myself. Sorry there are so many silent moments. I am fighting a sickness from the last few days. I will still be getting Dragon May Cry out by tomorrow. That is going up no matter what. Okay, folks? See you then.